Hi, my name is Jenny Burrell and welcome to the Power Years Project podcast, a virtual healing space for all women ready to embark on their radical midlife redesign. This podcast is ode to all the amazing possibilities still to come, all the life yet to be lived, and how we journey to a truly self-authored life. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to episode 0 of the Power Years Project podcast. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you who I am and what's going to be going down over the coming weeks and months of your time spent with me and my very special guests. So who am I? Well, my name is Jenny Burrell and I'm a women's health educator based in the UK. But most importantly, for this podcast, I am a radical midlife redesigner. I'm going to give you a little bit of a context and a little bit of a backstory. I actually think that I started my own radical midlife redesign without even knowing what I was doing. I can remember the moment. It was a Christmas time and I was, I think, 44 or 45. But I definitely remember it was Christmas time because I announced to my husband that in the coming January, I was going to go to our local estate agents and I was going to put our house that we'd lived in for 20 years on the market because I couldn't stand living in London anymore. And moreover, I had to live by the sea. There we go. Now, I think you can guess what happened next. Yeah, we live by the sea, right? So from around, I think, about age 43, the only way that I can describe what was going on was that I could feel the earth shifting beneath my feet. And I was starting to feel so uncomfortable in so many areas of my life where I had had great comfort. Everything was jogging along beautifully. And that discomfort, it wasn't a request. It was literally a demand for my attention. So this podcast and the whole of the Power Years project is about women and supporting women to get brave and notice and name that discomfort, because I know that it's probably happening to you right now. If you were attracted to this podcast, if you press play, I know that the title of the podcast is attractive to you because something feels off, something's not right. And before, where there was calm and comfort, there is now discomfort. But the good news is that there is a wonderful message in whatever mess and discomfort you feel is brewing right now. So this podcast is dedicated to inspiring women to dream, and then co-create a life of their design, regardless of whatever's currently going on for them or wherever they currently find themselves. I deeply believe and feel that I am living proof that where there is a will, there is a way. And finally, this podcast is about the bravery required to take 100% responsibility for making some big magic happen in our lives. Because if we don't do this for ourselves, who will? And if not now, then when? So that's a summary of what this podcast is about. And now we need to talk about what it is not. This space will never become a menopause moan zone, mostly because I love and live in the light and try to stay there as much as possible. And deeply believe that our lack of fecundity at this time should not be the defining conversation here. Yes, the physiological randomness also associated with this life phase will be part of the conversation. And the big word there is part. but it will not be the conversation. It's also never going to be a moan zone because I know with every fiber in my being that there is a way bigger conversation to be had about this life phase. This is a time of psycho-spiritual awakening, a time of throwing off things that do not work anymore, a time of putting down things that you're done with once and for all. Because this is the time when women who are done with birthing babies now have the divine opportunity to give birth to themselves. I'm going to replay on that. This is the time when women who are done birthing babies now have the divine opportunity to give birth to themselves. And we've got to get damned excited about that. So the Power Years Project in all its outputs is designed to be a most beautiful, thoughtful, intellectual, spiritual container for your journey to a life of your deepest design without compromise. And yes, it's probably not all going to be totally a smooth sail, but what is, and actually what has been thus far. But together, we are going to map out a most compelling vision for your future. And then you are going to go and live it. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of the Power Years Project podcast. Don't forget, we've got lots going on the Facebook page, on Instagram, and on YouTube. And I'd love to see you there as well. Okay, take care for now. Bye-bye.